Hancock versus Wanda Maximoff, early MCU version. Who would win? In a world where power doesn't always announce itself with lightning or thunder, sometimes it arrives in silence, and sometimes it arrives wrapped in chaos. On one side stands a man who cannot be killed, a being who falls from the sky like a collapsing star and walks away as if gravity itself apologized. On the other side stands a young woman whose emotions are not just feelings, but unstable forces that can bend minds, twist perception, and disturb reality in ways even she does not fully understand. This is Hancock versus Wanda Maximoff in her early MCU stage, and the question is not just about strength. It is about what kind of power actually decides a fight. Hancock is chaos in motion. He is reckless, unpredictable, and destructive even when he tries to do good. Cities don't greet him with relief. They brace for impact. Yet beneath that rough and damaged exterior lies something terrifyingly consistent. He cannot be stopped. Bullets bounce off him like rain. Explosions erupt around him and fade into nothing. He has survived impacts that would erase entire squads of superhumans. His strength is monstrous, allowing him to lift, throw, and destroy structures with ease. His speed lets him cross distances in moments, and his flight turns him into a living projectile that ignores physics entirely. Most importantly, Hancock does not stay down. Injury is temporary. Pain is irrelevant. Death itself seems like an inconvenience rather than an endpoint. But even something this powerful has unknown limits, tied to something deeper in his emotional and psychological state. Something even he barely understands. Wanda Maximoff, in her early MCU form, is not yet the full Scarlet Witch legend, but she is already far beyond normal human classification. Enhanced by experimental energy and the Mind Stone's influence, Wanda's abilities are rooted in chaos manipulation and telekinesis, but they go far beyond simple force projection. She can move massive objects with precision, crush metal, redirect momentum, and create barriers that reshape incoming attacks. But her real danger is not physical, it is mental. Wanda can invade thoughts, distort perception, and influence what an opponent sees or believes. She doesn't just fight the body. She attacks the mind that controls it. Even experienced Avengers have struggled against her abilities when she loses emotional control and lets her power expand without restraint. At first glance, this seems like a mismatch in Hancock's favor. An immortal powerhouse versus an unstable young psychic? The outcome feels obvious. But battles are never decided by appearances. The fight begins in a ruined urban landscape, silent except for the tension in the air before impact. Hancock arrives first, dropping from the sky with devastating force, cracking the ground beneath him. Dust rises like smoke from a disaster site. He looks unimpressed, almost irritated, as if this is just another obstacle to get through. Wanda stands several meters away, quiet, focused, her hands glowing faintly with unstable red energy that flickers like it is struggling to remain contained. She is cautious but not afraid. Hancock moves first without hesitation. In a blur of speed, he closes the distance instantly, throwing a punch that could level a building. The air itself seems to compress under the force. But Wanda reacts just in time. She twists the incoming force using telekinesis, redirecting the impact into the ground beside her. The explosion of debris shoots outward, but she remains standing. For the first time, Hancock pauses. That was supposed to end it instantly. Wanda responds not with brute force, but with influence. Her eyes lock onto him, and a psychic wave attempts to penetrate his mind. Hancock feels it immediately, like something trying to crawl inside his thoughts, pressuring memories and instincts. For a brief moment, his expression changes. Confusion flickers across his face. Fragmented emotions rise to the surface. But he resists violently, shaking off the intrusion as if rejecting a foreign presence. His mind is not easily rewritten. He attacks again, faster this time, attempting to overwhelm her before she can stabilize her powers. Wanda raises her hand, and the battlefield responds. Cars lift into the air, shattered concrete floats like debris in orbit, and metal fragments hover like a suspended storm. She launches them all at him in controlled bursts. Hancock smashes through some, deflects others, but the sheer volume begins to slow him. Not because it hurts him, but because it disrupts his momentum. And that is where Wanda begins to adapt. Her power expands with emotion. The environment starts reacting subtly at first. Gravity shifts, space distorts slightly around Hancock's movement, and his trajectory becomes unstable. He tries to fly upward to reset the fight, breaking the sound barrier in an instant. Wanda watches, then makes a choice that changes everything. She doesn't block him. She lets him commit. At the peak of his attack, just before impact, she releases a concentrated psychic disruption directly into his perception. For a split second, Hancock is not in the battlefield anymore. He is somewhere empty, isolated, disoriented. His senses detached from reality. His strike misses completely, and he crashes into the ground with catastrophic force, creating a massive crater that shakes the surroundings. This becomes the turning point. Hancock rises again, but now there is something different in his movement. Not fear, but awareness. This opponent is not just resisting him. She is controlling the terms of engagement. Every approach he makes is being analyzed, redirected, or mentally disrupted. Raw strength alone is no longer enough. He commits fully to a final charge, breaking through barriers with sheer force, ignoring pain and resistance. He reaches Wanda, and for a moment it looks like the fight is decided. His hand connects, but Wanda does not stop him physically. She targets something deeper again, his perception, his sense of coordination, his mental stability in combat. A second wave of psychic influence distorts his awareness. Hancock suddenly feels disoriented, like his own body is slightly out of sync with his mind. His grip weakens for a fraction of a second. That fraction is enough. Wanda unleashes a final telekinetic burst, throwing him backward through multiple structures. The impact is massive but not fatal. Hancock rises again slowly, intact as always, but now fully aware that this is not a fight he can brute force in a straightforward way. Wanda stands exhausted, her power flickering. Early MCU Wanda is powerful but unstable, pushing further risks losing control entirely. Even now, she is operating at the edge of what she can sustain. The battlefield falls into silence. Here is the final truth of this clash. Hancock dominates in raw physical strength, durability, regeneration, and endurance. If this fight were only about destruction and survival, he would eventually overwhelm almost anyone. But Wanda Maximoff introduces something that raw power struggles against: mental interference, perception manipulation, and chaotic energy that can alter the flow of battle itself. So the conclusion is clear. Hancock is physically superior in every direct combat metric. He is stronger, harder to kill, and more durable than Wanda in her early MCU form. But Wanda Maximoff is more versatile, more adaptive, and more dangerous in a real-time fight where the battlefield itself can be influenced by her mind and emotions. And when everything is taken into account, strength, adaptability, control, and win conditions, Wanda Maximoff wins this encounter by disrupting Hancock's perception and coordination just enough to prevent him from capitalizing on his overwhelming physical advantage. Final result: Wanda Maximoff defeats Hancock.